How's it going, everybody? Nick Daniels here yet again. Bring you folks another little video here as we're walking around the subdivision. Probably walk down to the old river as usual, and yeah, that's going to be about it. So today's going to be another movie review. I haven't done one of these in a while, I know, but I figured I would start getting back into these because well, I've got a little bit more free time, and you know, I don't feel it hurts to you know, to start queuing up some movies. So basically, I downloaded Netflix the other day, or not download, I guess you just kind of activate it, but I'm probably not going to keep the membership just at the moment. I don't know, we'll see. But either way, I figured I'd watch up a couple movies, and I watched two, so we're going to talk about one right now, and then of course one probably in the next video as I'm still walking a boot. So the first one I watched was called A Quiet Place. You've probably heard of it. It's actually kind of a newer title. It was actually, I do have to say, it's exactly what I expected. It was actually pretty good. I had already watched bits and pieces. You can find a lot of pieces of movies on YouTube. Like, literally, once they hit DVD, they're just all over the place. So, I already watched it, like, I wouldn't say a chunk of the movie, but I watched a good deal of it. So, I've already got an idea of what was actually going to happen and how it ended. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to watch the in-between, right? I wanted to watch the middle parts and see what I missed. So, that kind of being said, very quick overview of the movie. Basically, there's like barely any humans left, which again, I always love these ones. So, but it focuses on this one family, and they're trying to survive. Now, these creatures have invaded, and it's not exactly like here's where they came from, but they're definitely not planet Earth. And yeah, they've invaded, and basically I think humankind got wiped out pretty damn quick, actually. And they can't see you, but they can hear you. They've got like the best hearing, so they can hear wherever you are, what noises you make. And it's something that was really interesting in the film is that they don't the creatures don't eat them, they just kill them. They'll just kill anything. Like a raccoon was walking and it killed the raccoon. It doesn't care about eating it, it cares about killing it. So again, it could say that they don't need that, like for the protein, right? Now, another funny fact there I noticed too is that the father has a station downstairs where he's working on various things, and one of them, there's a paper on the wall, and it said that they've got armor. So obviously you can't just shoot it and it'll kill it. I'm assuming that does about nothing. And also, these things are extremely fast, by the way. I should reckon you. Like they were huffing it by the time they heard any noise. So it kind of goes without question. The whole movie's really interesting because, like, the first little while after the first initial son's death, which, by the way, was a big layup that was really interesting, and it was good that they did it because it proved why they were doing what they were doing right away. Like, they're walking all bare feet, and they've got like sand trails like everywhere because the sand obviously is quieter to walk on. And I thought that was really interesting, right? So yeah, they've got like these sand trails, they're following them, right? They're not making any noise, like they're doing the sign language, and their daughter's deaf. So it makes sense why they're doing that. Now, later in the movie, you actually see they light a fire, and a whole bunch of other ones come up around the area. So you do see there are people alive. Like, there's probably still a portion, needless to say, it would be a small portion, but there's a portion of people that are still alive and surviving, but you don't really see any contact with them, and that's kind of unfortunate. But again, they probably don't know sign language. I think this family did because, well, for one, it's where they're at now, they need to know it, but second of all is because their daughter's deaf, so they need that sign language to communicate with her properly. Something's very interesting, which I watched in a video before watching the movie, is since she's deaf, and actually she's deaf in real life, by the way, that actress is, what they did is, so every time the camera moved in on her, like it was her scene, they muffled everything. So, like, even if there was something loud happening behind her, she couldn't hear it, which was really interesting. And ironically, she actually figures out the creature's weakness is the sound, right? Is they're trying, the whole movie is like, you know, we have no idea, right? And at the end of the film, they find out that it actually is sound. They can use like high-pitched frequencies and hurt them and expose them. And they actually expose, like, not like their brain, but maybe their brain, I don't know. And again, a good shotgun shell to the head took that right out. Now, at the end of the film, it really leaves it doesn't leave it open, but it kind of leaves it so you know what's going to happen, to the point that there's like 2 more of the creatures coming, but there's only 3 in the area. So I'm guessing, obviously, they can't hear for so far away. So they're probably safe once they take those other 2 out, and they can actually probably start having a good time. But anyway, that only works if you've really seen the whole movie and you get what I'm talking about there. But overall, it was a good movie. Like I said, there were several good moments, like one where the father sacrificed himself so the kids could get away. You know, and it really sucks because, you know, they're watching their father, right? And, you know, he gets killed and they're watching that. And that would not be something easy for a kid to do, right? Like that alone was, oh, you know, like that's the point where you're like, wow, like that's powerful. There was also a scene too where an older gentleman was in the woods, just an old guy there, and the son and the father are walking, and they see this old guy standing there, and they don't really, you know, you don't know right away what happened, and you see there's an old lady, and she's dead in the grass, like she's just laying there, like just brutalized. And the man looks like he's just lost, like that was everything he had, right? And the father's like shaking his head. He's like, you know, just don't do it, man. Like, don't do it. Like, I know you're thinking it, like, don't do it, because they can't actually communicate. So he does like this, right? Tells them like be quiet, like, hey, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. And what does he do? He just starts screaming. He screams because he knows that if he does that the creature will just come and take him out. He has no reason to live anymore. And it was really interesting, and again, this was explained earlier, that if there's a louder noise, that a quieter noise you can get away with, right? So like they go to like a waterfall and they just start actually having a conversation, like they start talking, right? Because they can do that at the waterfall. But when they go out, you know, in other areas, like that's where you have to tiptoe, because there isn't another sound that's louder. And that's a really cool concept, because again, when this old gentleman starts yelling, and he's like, you know, like, what the father does is he just grabs his son and he's sprinting away, right? Yeah, he literally sprints right away and he hides behind a tree, and sure enough, one does come, and it obviously doesn't know they are there, but it goes for him, right? And again, there was another scene where the kids are in a silo and they're making a huge ruckus, and the father's like, ah, fuck, right, I gotta save him, I gotta get him out of there. But when he's standing there and he's like kind of thinking up a plan, right, he's devising something, the creature actually runs right by him. Like, literally, I'm not even joking you, it could have been like less than a foot away. It's just that it had no idea he was there. It went for the louder noise, right? So that's, like, I guess in a sense an advantage, that you could actually make louder noises, and right, and then again, like I said, you can get away with it in that sense, as long as, like I said, as long as there's something louder that's happening, it won't pick up what you're doing, right? Or nearly as well. It still might know you're there, I'm not sure, but it clearly goes for whatever's louder, and it just basically tries to take whatever that is out. Honestly, like I said, it's a really good film. It's a really good thriller. I really enjoyed it. I would recommend it to anybody. I really would. And that kind of being said, I think that'll close her for the review. We're gonna have to see in the next video. Thank you for watching, and check it out, A Quiet Place. It's a good time. I mean it.